my own personal experience, when I went to school, college, university, I was very proud. I didn't share my challenges with many people, and I suffered, you could call it that, in silence for a long period of time, and chose not to share anybody, which was probably the worst thing I could have done. Because now that the people who I work with and the people I interact with know about my sight and the challenges that you try and overcome and stuff, they don't really mind. They're quite happy to read something or point something out, or no one's there. Everyone's there to get on. Everyone's there to succeed. They're not there to point the finger or make fun or challenge how you do something differently. So I would say, even at a young stage when I didn't have qualifications or whatever else, just having people around you and being honest with them, most importantly, because people want to help. People, if you saw someone in need, you'd help them out. So people do exactly the same for you.
I think to enhance software, the way that society is going now in terms of using a paperless system, there's no option as to whether not to use it, because it does make you really employable. I know that a lot of people in my situation did RNIB braille courses, and I would not advocate that, because you're reading at 20-30 words a minute. Employers are looking for efficiency in this very competitive market that we're in, and to use an enhanced technology which is so accessible and really, really effective in what it does is the only route to go down in my mind. Using a sighted helper is good if I need X, Y, and Z from the library to go, plummeting around, and if I need my Christmas shopping done, I'll get my helper to do it. But if there's anything else that needs doing in terms of reading, it's all accessible.
How did you find out about the technology?
Firstly through Blind and Business, and there's a fantastic organisation called Sight and Sound, I'm on commission, by the way, who are really good through their training. They're really switched on, and they're the only company that I've really specifically trained towards visually impaired people. You can get a lot of disability-related companies that deal with different physical impairments. But Sight and Sound really are, they're very switched on to the visually impaired market and cater all their goods towards that.
Use braille. Anybody use braille? I'm going to be the odd one and say yes, I do. I used to use, because I've been through a new access to work assessment for the new role that I'm in now, but I did used to use PatMate kind of when I was sat in meetings, and kind of as these guys have described, like using a digital voice recorder as well, but it was just having the braille display, so if I needed to backtrack through notes or something, if I got a stakeholder asking a question, I could quickly just trail through my notes.
I think it's also harder on parents and teachers to understand the situation, but there's no harm trying. So try whatever, try different things to make sure to make sure what satisfies you most. So I've had my condition since birth, and it took me quite a bit of time to understand what sort of sunglasses tint do I need in the sun. And it's fine if you do mistakes. It's just exploring, knowing what suits you best. And I think in terms of parents and teachers, don't make it seem as if it's an obstacle, or don't always sort of ask questions on whether the visual impaired person needs help or whether he needs assistance. We like our personal space, sort of. I like to explore things myself. If someone points out that I'm visually impaired, I'm incapable, that might reduce my confidence a bit, but just make them confident in the sense that they can do it, push them forward, and let them look at the opportunity in every circumstance, not at the obstacle or the difficulty. And it might be worth noting that I'm an international student, so I came from a different region of the world to study here in London, and I am living on my own, and I Skype with my parents every now and then, and they were shocked to see how well I adapted. They were worried at first, how will you live in London? It's a very animated city, the tube, the buses, etc. But if they didn't push me enough, I wouldn't be where I am today. And most of it is just self-learning. You put your way forward, and if you want to accommodate it to yourself, you will find your way eventually. So give them that personal space, and let them explore. It's fine, let them bump their head. They learn not to bump it next time. So Don't fear from making mistakes. It's part of development.